Hey everybody, I'm back and have something kind of fun I want to build today. So last night I was watching Xisuma stream his Create Together world, and he was making this cool new tree farm contraption thing with Create. And I really wanted to make it. It seemed like it could be a really helpful tool to have around the place. So I went into my creative world and I started tinkering around and I came up with my own little design on it. Now Xisuma was having some kind of problems with getting his to work, but he was figuring it out for the first time. Xisuma's build is great. There's no problem with it at all. It definitely works. It's just I saw a way to do something a little different that can cut down on some of the problems that he was having. And plus I had a couple ideas of ways we could improve it, which I'm sure he'll come to the same conclusions later. It's just, working through it. My tree farm contraption is based on his. It is no means better than his. It's just it has alterations. So why don't we get to it? Now you'll see here we're down in my little farm area, and I've cleared out a lot of it. I took out the tree section of the farm and all the animals, and I've prepped an area here. We've got some grass cleared out here, a little 2x2, and then we have a 1 block space here and a 2 block space here. There's a reason for all of this. Down here, as you can see what we're looking at. Now this is just a water source, power source with a water wheel. You don't need a whole lot powering this down here. This is itself probably overkill. And this is just a little something extra I tossed in. So this, sticky piston, you pull it back. Water goes in, activates it. This is a clutch it's on, so you can kill the power here as well. And you see it's still rotating. Oh wait, there it kills the power, and now it's not rotating anymore. You turn it off and it rotates. I hooked this up to a speed controller here, and you see I have it at -48. It's at negative, so it spins the opposite direction, and 48 is just a decent speed I found for this portion of the mechanism. Let's go ahead and cover that up for now. You need this area clear, and actually, even this might get in the way. I think I have enough room, though, other than that. Still works. Yeah. Alright, so I'm going to leave this on. So we have this little bit of power right here. Just a little system. Just to power that. Nothing else. This is a little structure I put in for later. This here. We have 2 dirt platforms. These are too wide. They have a space of 1 in between. And they are 1 block above the ground layer. Or 2 blocks, I guess. There's a space in between the ground level and that. And this is 16 blocks long, which is also important. From here to what you would call the edge of the contraption, let's say right here, there is 4 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks of space. And the same over here. You do need that extra room. 1, 2, 3, 4. You could make this bigger if you want, but the timings and speeds of everything will be thrown off and you'll have to rework it all. So if you want to use this model, I'd suggest sticking to the same settings I use, because I put quite a bit of little testing in last night and figured out some cool things and kind of dialed in what the timings and speeds and settings need to be. Now over here, this is probably overkill, but I have 3 water wheels. You can see there's 2 of them here. There's a third right over there. It's there. Here we have some materials I've gotten. I've prepped, I believe, everything I need. You can see right here. So those water wheels are powering this rotational speed controller right here, which is behind these cogs, which are bracketed. I left this one unbracketed, so you can see right there. It's currently at 1 RPM, and I can adjust it. I left it at 1 because I wasn't using it right then, and figured just leave it where it needs to be. This is just a belt that's transferring the rotational power here and along to here. So this point here isn't going to need as much rotational force as the other portion that's going over here, So I've set this speed controller here so I can have it at 48, the same as the one down there, just reverse, because this is doing the same thing as that, just opposite. Okay? So this system that's currently here, the two power systems, you can power it however you want. You know, this is just what I did for now. In my test world, I used creative engines, and it was nice, compact, worked perfectly. But if you're not using creative engines, you know, different power sources will work. But this is what I went for. The 3 water wheels in there, probably overkill, but definitely also want to make sure you have enough power for the tree cutter. All right, so let's get to the build now. So once you've figured out your power source, you can, let me just grab a bunch of this stuff. Stuff I'm going to be needing. Okay, so we're going to start with the gantry shaft. And right here on this edge that I was talking about, we're going to put one right there. We're just going to kind of scaffold build it down. All the way to the end. Okay, just like that. Now I think when I was building it added some extras on here. Yep, so let's just go ahead and remove those. We're just going to line it up to there. Let's see, we got the shaft here. I actually want to go oh, that's not right. Take the gantry shaft. Put 2 more on. Yep, you want to have it lined up with that rotational point there. And we're going to take a clutch. Nope, we're going to take a gear shift. And put that there and a clutch right there. Okay? Then we're going to take a lever. Put that on the clutch so you can power it. You can turn it on and off pretty much. Let's see, I got this going at 96 RPM. That's what we want it spinning at. For all the timings to work properly. Let's go ahead and grab cog. That right there, and the shaft there, and now we're connected to the gantry. When you turn it on, it spins. So let's turn it off. Now let's take the gantry itself, the gantry chassis, gantry carriage, and we're going to put it right there. Then we're going to take a sticky mechanical piston from Create, put just like that. Now it's facing upwards, and the rotational cog intercept point, whatever, is on the side there, being rotated from this guy. Go ahead and turn this down for the time being. You know, no, I'm going to turn it back up to where I want it, 48, and I'm going to tear this part down because I don't need it just yet. Okay, so next you're going to grab 2 piston extension poles, take them and put it underneath the sticky mechanical piston, just like that. So now this is what we're looking at. Okay, we're going to take a linear chassis. We're going to put it right up here. Going to find our wrench. I need those. Come back. Okay, take the wrench and rotate it. So that's our center point right there. This mechanical piston, sticky mechanical piston, that's the center. You have 1 linear chassis on top, and you're going to take 2 more on that side, and then put 2 more on this side. Now this is the base of the machine. Okay. Next, let's clear out a little space, grab some glue, and these mechanical saws. So we're gonna glue, and glue, and glue. We're gonna glue the whole side here. Then we're gonna take mechanical saws, put those there and there. Gonna take a chest and put that there in the middle. Nice little setup we got going. Next, we're gonna come over here and we're gonna glue. Okay, we're gonna take 4 deployers and we're gonna put them on the glue. So this is our base machine right here. This is what's going to be doing all the work for the most part. But next, we have to set up some automation. Okay, by the way, Xisuma was using a sequenced gear shift. The thing that you can program to go out 15 blocks, wait so many turns, whatever, you know, that thing. That's not ideal for this for a couple reasons. One of the reasons is for pushing mechanical pistons like he was doing, he was having it go, say, 15 blocks or 13 blocks out, right? And then it would come back 13 blocks. But for some reason, those sequencers, even though it says it's moving, you know, by the block, it's not. It's still a timed thing. So when the blocks get caught up on trees that it has to cut down, it slows it down, and then it'll get stuck in the middle. And you don't want this thing getting stuck. That's where you get into little problems trying to reset it and all. So I suggest using the gear shift, just back and forth, and you toggle it. And the way we're going to go about toggling it is a powered toggle latch right there. There, that spins it one way, that'll spin it the other way. And we're going to take one of these great little redstone links here, wireless redstone from the CreateMod. We're just going to toss it in there. So this has to become a receiver rather than a sender. They're our default senders. So you need to take an empty hand, shift right click, and you'll see that little thing popped up. Now it's a receiver. We want to give it a frequency, so this is going to be frequency pork chop. You can make it whatever you want. You can put multiple in to mix them up. Now when this receives power, it's going to toggle that from wherever it's at. Okay, let's try this thing out. Let's see where we're at. So now we're back connected. This is working, looks like as it should. Let's take our first test. Now, I believe as soon as I turn this on, it's going to go. So let's power it. Yep. It's going to go down here. Now remember, we have that other power source spinning. It's going to connect with that, which raises the platform. Perfect. That's what we want. This was Xisuma's idea. It would come down here. That would raise up, and then it would come back. And then as it's coming back, it's going to be chopping down all the trees up in there. So let's go ahead and bring it back. We do that by toggling the gear shift. Comes back. Perfect. And that rotational point there is going to lower it. And we are back into place. All right, so far so good. Everything's running as it should. So this little structure that I built here, this is just a 2x3. I'm going to take an observer, put it right there. I'm going to take one of these adjustable repeaters from the CreateMod, put it right there. Now, this is at 1 tick. You want to make this a longer tick, a minimum of 4, but depending on lag, things can happen. I suggest setting it higher than that. So I'm just going to go to 8 ticks for now. That should be good. More than enough, but you know. All right, we're going to take one of our wireless redstone guys. I'm going to take a cooked pork chop and make it pork chop frequency, and this is good to go. So all I did was add those 3 things. Now let's see how this reacts. Let's set it off again. So it comes on down here. Goes up. It hits that thing, and it sends it back on its way, all on its own. Over there, it's going to lower again and be done. The observers won't see the structure when it's moving because it's an entity. As soon as it stops moving, it goes back into block form. And then the observer reads it. So it powers this little adjustable repeater. It waits 8 ticks before hitting that. And that delay allows it to move away from the area without setting off the observer again. Okay, so then it can move on out and do its thing. Okay, so this is working great. Now we need to set up an automatic return on this side. So to do that, let me see. I'm going to line it up with this portion right here. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to take observer and put it just like that. I'm going to put this down, one of those adjustable repeaters. I'm going to put it up past ticks to 2 seconds. Then I'm going to take, oh, wait. Then I'm going to take redstone dust and wireless repeater and pork chop. So now what this does, when it comes back, it lowers and then it goes back into block form. That's when this will read it. And if it all works, it should read it, send it to here. The pulse waits 2 seconds and then comes out here and hits that. And it should reverse the gear shift and send it back on its way. The reason we're doing that is so we can remove the items that the tree collector, whatever we want to call it, has collected on its way. So we're going to put a chest right here and a smart chute on top of it. Okay, this should take care of that. Now when it comes back and goes back into block form, it'll read this chest and it'll suck everything out of there. Because it's a smart chute, it'll do it really fast. You could, if you attached a tunnel or funnel, whichever they are, on the front of this, for some reason it grabs it, takes it with it. It might have just been actually because I left these at 8. I suggest putting all of these down to 1. You do that by going to your wrench, highlighting it, and scrolling down. This is the sticky area of effect, so it'll help keep it from breaking down the line. You could probably, if you have it set up to just the 1 so that it's not going past that, you could probably stick the hopper in front, the tunnel or funnel, however you want to do it, in front, and just pull from it that way. But this is the way I'm doing. And then obviously from here, you can have it work into whatever storage. You can move the items wherever you need to, but this is your collection point, we're saying. Okay? And like I was saying, this 2-second pulse is to give it 2 seconds for it to offload anything that's in the chest. And then it clicks and sends it back on its way. Let's try it out. If this is working as it should now be in a continuous loop. Oh yeah. So when you first turn it on like that, it triggers the observer. So it goes out and then it pops right back after 2 seconds. But then it goes out again on its own and it'll be working fine from there. I'm sure there's ways to fix it, but it's also not that much of a hassle. So I just left it for now. Lowers down, you see it disappear. That's some kind of visual glitch. It was happening to Xisuma too, so just a visual bug, nothing else. Sometimes it shows and it looks pretty nice. But as you can see, we have a circuit here. It's going in a circular motion, or an oval, if you will. It's going back and forth, let's say. All on its own. I'm not doing anything. Now when it comes back, I'm going to go ahead and flip the switch, kill the power. So our next step will be the handling of the trees. I've got some saplings here. We're going to use oak. You can use, I'm pretty sure, most of the saplings. This, I made it 16 blocks long so that it's even, multiple of 4. So you could use like plant dark oaks and maybe even jungle and spruce. I haven't tried those ones yet, but it might be able to handle that kind of thing. You might need more saws to handle some of the bigger trees, or else it would leave some of it up above. I'm not sure, but yeah, that's what we're doing at the moment. So we're going to take these saplings, put them in the filter. That makes it so these guys want to use saplings. They know that those are what they need, and they will keep from, or the system will feed them to them as needed, as they're available, of course. So there we go. This is now primed, but I want to do something else. I'm going to take these 64 and prime the top here. This block of 2 by 1, 16 long, whatever, 2 of them. It's a perfect stack of 64 that goes up there, so that's nice. Okay, grab some bone meal. Oh, we already got one growing. Nice. I want to grow a couple trees up here just so we can test it out, so we can see that it's collecting what comes off and that everything's just working properly. Now we should be good to go. Power the system. It's going to come back in a second. Yep, because of the observer. And now it's good, and it's going to go. So this system you can leave like it is now running and just forget about it, and it'll take care of continually farming trees and replanting them as needed and all of that, and collecting them in whatever storage you set up for them. Pretty great system at this point, but it can still get a little better. Now, this is really all you need, but let's say you're in a creative world or survival world where you got a ton of material and you've got bone meal to waste, then you can make a nice little bone meal addition that will bone meal the trees and really ramp up your production. So let's turn the system off so we can work on it again. I took every bone block, every bone I had, I made every bit of bone meal I could, and this is what I've got. So this is all I have to work with. Maybe you'll have more, hopefully. You will definitely want some sort of bone meal farm to make this happen if you want to make the bone meal attachment. But for now, this is a working system, and it'll do what you need. So first off, we're going to come off of this system. We're going to take redstone wool right there. Then we're going to need 2 of these. We're going to put... Okay, we're just going to do that. We don't need an extra redstone dust. This one we're going to put at 15 ticks. Then this one we're going to put at 2 seconds. Very important. All right. So this is like 3/4 of a second, I believe, and this is 2 seconds. This is the length for this distance, this speed, this system. This is the pulse you want to have coming off of a 2-second here to make this next part work at a proper metered connection, which is what we're going for. So now take this, go bam, 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 bam. And we're going to put that, not that. We're going to take this, a portable storage interface, and put that right there. See, we got some company. Hey, buddy. Call your friends. No? Are we okay? Okay. So we have this here. Now we're going to take a regular chute. We're going to put it on top. And we're going to take our wrench and click it so we have a little window there, just so we can see what it's doing. Then we're going to take that smart chute, and we need a chest. So we're going to put the smart chute there, chest on top. What this does, when the observer pulses here, and it pulses out and tells it to now, okay, go down there, it's going to send a pulse this way. When this starts moving, it's an entity form, right? These only connect together in entity form. What are they? The portable storage interfaces. So if they're stopped in block form, they don't work. So then when it gets down here, it's going to get fed bone meal from up in there and feed the system. Now, we don't want to dump all the bone meal in because then it'll just come over here to our storage system, which you see has already been working, and it'll just dump the extra bone meal in there. Ideally, what we want, which is perfect for this length, is 1 stack, maybe 2 stacks, use your judgment, but I find 1 stack seems to work perfectly. At this setting, 1 stack is what you'll get. So, that's that. Next, we want to take redstone. We're going to come off of that line there. We're going to bring it down here and just do that. Okay. Now this smart chute, it's just sort of like a regular chute. It'll just dump items out. So if I put this in there, it's already through. We don't want that. If we put the bone meal in there, it'll just pour it out. However, if this is getting a redstone signal, you see this dark red line toss out there? The red line turns bright red. That means it's stopped. Now, things won't fall through. So the other line here, coming off of this, when the contraption moves on down and it connects to this, it will continually receive items from the source as long as it's here. So we have to then use redstone to cut the power here so that it knows to go along. So this waits to almost 3 full seconds and then pulses out, gives it the redstone power, and tells it to move along, finish your job. This side comes along and unlocks it and locks it just for the right amount of time so that it gets 1 stack of bone meal, which is perfect. So I think we're ready. Let's go ahead and slowly transfer all this bone meal across. There's the last of it. I want to take a little bit of this bone meal. and use it just to get some tree growth going. So we can test the system a little more. This place is really popular tonight. By the way, these mob skulls on a pike are not seeming to be working. They work sometimes, and then most of the time they don't. Okay, so this system is set up, right? We now have a delivery system that will feed 1 stack of bone meal into the system. But the system isn't prepared to deal with it just yet. So the other thing we got to do in order to make this work is add more to the build. We have everything we need, so we're going to take a linear chassis, put it right there in the front, 1 more, and then we're going to go 1, 2. And you'll see we've now covered up the deployer. It'll still work though just fine like this. You don't have to worry about that. If you want to change the saplings, you can still do so. You can access them right there. The reason I do this is we could put it 1 block further out and have this line right here and have an extra space here. But what happens is when it's growing, especially with the bone meal, sometimes those trees can grow up in the empty gap right here. And we don't want that. When that happens, it can get stuck. So if you do it like this, it shouldn't get stuck. So then we're going to take glue. Oh, let's go ahead and go deployer, and glue, and deployer. All right. Now we're going to take some bone meal, just put it in the filter. So now these guys know that's their job, bone mealing and handling bone meal. Let's go ahead and clear this stuff out so we know what we're dealing with. Take our extra bone meal. Now, I haven't ran it yet, but this looks right to me. I think the system is set up perfectly and everything should work. Never works on the first try for me, but hey, let's give this a go. Oh, one other thing I want to address. The reason this is so far away is because if you remember, there's that little issue when you first turn on the system, it goes out and then comes back, right? If you have this any closer, then as it goes out, it will connect to that and it will start causing problems, and these will get into little loops or break or things. You can have this go further out, but then you'll have to adjust the timing. I found that this is a good point for it. It's right at the edge of its range before it gets called back from the initial start. And this timing works with that distance. So if you do change the distance, just know that you have to adjust the timing if you still want to get a perfect 1 stack of bone meal. All right, little nervous, but I think this is good to go. Let's power it on. It's going to come back. That shouldn't have happened. Oh, I see what's wrong. We gotta stop the system. I blew it. Alright, so this is a failed attempt, but we could go ahead and watch what it's doing. It must have ran out of saplings at that point. And kill the system. Alright. Now, these need a second one in order to interact with each other, which I forgot. So we're going to take some super glue. This front bar here of linear chassis, we're just going to super glue right there. Okay. And then we're going to put the portable storage interface right there. Now the system should work. Apologies. Let's set the system off. All right, now we're up and running. Moving on through. Still not seeing bone meal particles. And it didn't grow a whole bunch. Right there, it should have picked up 64 bone meal. No particles. Something's up with the bone meal currently. Let's figure it out. Oh, come back. So they have the bone meal. They've been taking out a proper amount. And they've been using it? What I'm going to do, I'm not sure if this is necessary, but I know I didn't do it. So let's try this out. I'm going to go ahead and prime these. Send it out and turn it on. Now, it should be working from here on out. Everything else is set up. We should see tree growth this time. Oh, there you go. You can see the particles from the bone meal. Trees are growing, and we are in action. Just remember to prime those deployers before you use them. There you see a stack waiting. Let's go ahead and put these up here so we can see that it's only using one stack. One stack's gone. Awesome. This is working. And there you can see materials being gathered. This is what we got just from since it's been working properly. Not too bad. Well, there you have it. It's doing everything we want it to do. It's fully automated, except for the fact that you got to put bone meal in it. And obviously can automate that. You can automate a better storage system. And like I said, this is Xisuma's design, just with some slight upgrades and modifications to it. My own little take on it. Great idea he had in this whole system of, you know, it's so cool. It moves out like that. Raises up, does all this. Yeah, I like it. I think this would get the Xisuma seal of approval if you were to see it. I'm sure he never will. But thank you, Xisuma, for inspiring me to create this. Now I'm gonna have trees for days. Can I get up there in this view? Oh, can I go the right way? Yep. It's over here. Excuse me. And right. You got camera on? Okay. Yep, here we go. Well, I'm gonna hit the road for now. I'm pretty happy with how this tree build has gone. This new little tree farm. And hopefully some of you can find use in it too. See y'all and have a great day.